Alright guys, so moving right along to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Brittany Digger, who asked me to do kind of a unique Owl House Scooby-Doo crossover without using Scooby-Doo characters, but it does have some Scooby-Doo characters in it. I'll explain in a moment. You probably guessed from the title that this is Owl House and the Witch, Owl House, the Witch's Ghost. So you probably know what's probably going on here. But yeah. But before we get started, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube once you hit the 3rd tier. Anyway, so let's get started with the video. So the story begins with basically a Luz. She's at her home, and this is the end of the series. This is the end of the show. This is post the end of the show, excuse me. And basically what it is that Luz is getting ready to go on a date with a actual date, because she has so few of them, with Amity, and they're going to go to a rock concert of the Hex. They're going to go see the Hex Girls tonight. But as she's getting ready, she's like dolling herself up in the mirror, and like she's also like Luz in a typical neurotic fashion is just kind of like, you know, am I wearing too much makeup? Am I wearing not enough makeup? What if Amity's wearing too much makeup? Then I'm not wearing enough makeup. Oh, I'll look so I'm so hideous. And her mom's trying to calm her down. But however, during all of that, Luz looks in the mirror that she's used, like the bathroom mirror, and she hears the words "help me" scrawled onto them, and she's like, well, that wasn't me, and that's pretty suspicious. I wonder what that all hubbub is about. So she tells like Amity about it, and she's like, it sounds like you have a ghost. And she's like, really? Awesome. I could actually, like, I was kind of expecting we were going to run into ghosts in our adventures, but like never happened. Maybe because we didn't have enough time for it. If this was an animated cartoon, like, that would be the moment Luz and Amity and everyone else in the room would like look at the screen like, fuck you, Disney. Anyway, so like I was so getting back on track, Luz is like, wow, that's like, we have an actual ghost, so maybe we can maybe we can do a seance. And they get in touch with Ida, who's like, seance, huh? We're not going to use like you're breaking out like a Ouija board and whatever to contact him. And she's like, yeah, you want to help us? And she goes, I'll help you, but like, that ain't how you do a seance. You know, I'll show you the Boiling Isles way of doing a seance. So Ida, with her help, they go to the Boiling Isles they go back to the Boiling Isles, meet up with Gus, Hunter, and Willow, and they proceed to begin a seance of a different kind. Basically, Luz, since she's the one who's being haunted, has to like give a little bit of her blood into a cup, and they have to use like magic roots and whatever. And Ida uses a spell to contact the dead, and they actually get in touch with the spirit who's following Luz, and it's Sarah Ravencroft. Sarah Ravencroft is from of course the character from Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys figured it out. But Sarah essentially like reaches out to Luz and is like, hey, my name is Sarah, and I have I've been trying to reach out to you, and more specifically Ida. And they're like, and Ida's like, me? Yeah, Luz is the only human spirit because she couldn't go. She's a spirit and can't traverse into the world of the Boiling Isles. Like, there's a barrier there. But she could reach Luz, her apprentice, her student, and basically like speak to Ida that way once they did the seance, to open the door to let her in. And Ida's like, all right, what do you need? You got my attention. What do you want? And she goes, I need your help because your long descendant Evelyn was my teacher, like how you are to Luz. And she's like, Evelyn? Ain't that like, yeah, that's one of my descendants, but like, ain't that the person connected to Bellows, Hunter? And Hunter's like, yeah, that was the person, the guy that was who she married. Oh my god, are we related? And she goes, I don't want to unpack that right now. It should have been unpacked in the past. Not that would be another second time. Would be like, come on, Disney, you didn't give us enough time. So, Ida is like, yeah, what do you need? And she goes, I need your help because I have been trapped in purgatory. I was a human witch, like how Luz was, but my magic was a little more different. I was a Wiccan, and Evelyn found me when she was spending time in the human realm, and I became her apprentice to learn actual magic from her. But however, when she met him and Evelyn met Sarah in Salem. But then the Salem witch trials happened, and Sarah was burned at the stake and she believes she can find peace and cross over to the afterlife if she can find her old spell book. And Ida's like, yeah, cool, I could help with that. Yeah, where do you think it would be? And she goes, probably where I died. Can you guys go get it for me? Like, can you guys actually go get it? And they're like, yeah, cool. So they literally fucking go to back to the human realm and go to the town where Sarah was killed. I think if I remember right in the movie, it was Salem. If I remember right, it's been a while since I've watched the Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. But yeah, so they go back to to Salem, and they literally fucking break into a little museum and steal Sarah Ravenscroft's book. And Sarah, once they do that, they contact Sarah again. She's like, "Oh, thank you. I can finally find peace if all you need to do is read from the book." So they do, and that's when Luz puts 2 and 2 together. She's reading the book. She's like, I think we did something really bad. And sure enough, they did, because, yeah, now Sarah has been freed from her bonds of the book, and now wants to use that power, because it turns out Evelyn wasn't killed. Sarah wasn't killed by the villagers who burned her. She was actually killed by Evelyn, because Evelyn discovered Sarah's actually using her powers for evil, and I need to stop her. So that's how it really went down. At least in this story. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, so Sarah Ravencroft is freed. She's using the book. She's using now the spell book, and the team, the Owl House family, now has to fight her on Earth, where a lot of their magic is a lot weaker. However, since this is Salem, there's a lot of Titan blood in the area, so that gives them a bit of an edge. They have to do battle with her, and what they have to do is destroy the book. But they're like, yeah, we need a Wiccan to banish her back in the book. And she said, and Ida's like, Wiccan nothing. And banishing, we ain't banishing, smanishing. We're burning that bitch. So that's what they do, is that they have to get the book away from Sarah, and eventually, King is the one who actually grabs it and is like, I'm invincible. Gets hit by a tree. But then Luz does find the book, and with Ida's help, they burn it and send Sarah's soul to hell, where it belongs. And she goes, when you go to hell, tell Belos we said hi. So Sarah's sent to hell, and Luz is like, damn, I was so much, I was really hoping that, I could help a spirit cross over and whatnot. And to which Ida's like, nah, you helped me figure out, a lost piece of mine in Hunter's history. If that's not anything, that's got to count for something, right? So that's how the story ends. There you go, guys. That is Owl House, The Witch's Ghost. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And once again, I'd like to thank Brittany Digger for this Patreon request and continued patronage. And yeah, like I said, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the 3rd tier, and that'll allow you access to do video requests from me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.